This woman is fucking nuts. This woman is nuts.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh shit. We back, we back, we back, we back. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. The more people like, the more people coming to the live. Um, if y'all want me to stay on 2 hours, I'm looking to meet a $20 live stream goal. Cash App, PayPal, on the top of the chat and in the description. Or you can do super chat, super sticker. That's the dollar symbol on the right of the chat box. Yeah, we about to get started. This is. Leg internet, I guess. Let me see if we on Rumble. Do I even got the right title? Yeah. Bear with me. About to get started. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like.
I've talked a lot about this before and people didn't like it too much. I've talked a lot about this before and people didn't like it too much. Like men.
Oh, real quick before we get started with this, do women actually deserve respect? That's the question at hand tonight. Um, my answer is no, probably not. Most women no. Most women don't deserve respect. Here's why. There are a few reasons. I can name off a few reasons. Most women like drama and chaos. Even the ones who create drama and chaos in very subtle ways. But yeah, that's one reason. A lot of women just love to create unnecessary drama and chaos in every situation. Um, Another reason why most women don't deserve respect, they're governed by their emotions, and that's not respectable. I don't know if they can help it or not, probably not, but either way, it's not respectable. I mean, there's a lot of things about our core nature as humans that we override. So I mean, it's possible for them to learn a different way, but they don't. They don't care to learn a different way or even attempt to be a different way. They can be very manipulative. Um, they can just be very disrespectful for no reason, especially to men. What else? I can go on, on and on. Hypergamy isn't necessarily respectful. Um, Women are also very, did I say manipulative? But they also can be very controlling in subtle ways. It's not controlling in the same way that the quote unquote alpha male is controlling. Um, but yeah, women can be very controlling. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. The lack of taking accountability, that doesn't deserve respect. So that's another big reason why most women don't deserve respect. They seem to have an inability to take accountability for anything wrong that happens. It's just to name a few things. Probably could make a list of 20 why most women don't deserve respect. But to be fair, most men don't deserve respect. But generally speaking, I would say, yeah, men are more respectable than women. There's more men on this planet that do deserve respect than there are women. I wish it wasn't so. I really do. But it is. Let's get into it.
I've talked a lot about this before, and people didn't like it too much, like men in particular. But I do think it is a lot harder to date as a woman high earner, and especially as a Black woman high earner. And there's a couple of reasons why I think that is the case, but generally speaking, it is harder to date. And in my experience, one thing that I have noticed is that men, when they like come into your sphere, especially if you're someone who's not necessarily like withdrawn or or like quiet per se, right? Like you have opinions and they don't like that, right? And some of them they just want you to like shut up and be quiet and just be behind them, and that's not me. But also,
Yeah, that's why you're gonna just fail miserably. You're gonna fail miserably on the dating market because the type of men you want, I'm sure you want high earners. You want the male equivalent of you, and those type of guys want a woman to get behind them. So it's really not a matter of you being a high earner. It's a matter of you being masculine and dominant. And a masculine, dominant, get shit done type man don't want those characteristics in his woman. Point blank fucking period. You want to act like a man? Hey, get a feminine man to be in a relationship with them. You want to be a masculine woman? Get a feminine man. That's your match. That's your equivalent. Or that's your that's what you would attract. And that's what will work. Alpha males aren't looking for an alpha woman to out alpha every day. It don't work that way. You're gonna learn the hard way if you haven't already learned. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinions. You should be you should be the head of a lesbian relationship then. Or pay to play. Pay to play with a feminine man. Those are your only options. You cause see, let's break this down real quick. She's not gonna respect a man who don't check this bitch. Okay. She's not gonna respect a man who's not gonna check her and put her in her place, her proper place beneath him. So any man that she can maintain her status on his level, so to speak, far as the dynamic in the relationship, she's not gonna respect him and she'll sabotage it or leave him or cheat on him. But if a quote unquote proper alpha come in and really dominate her and get her in her place beneath him, she's gonna cry controlling and cry abuse. So she's in that AD loop of misery. Any guy she respect, he's gonna either leave her or she's gonna F it up somehow. Because let's be real, she's 30 or older. By the time you've been failing since 15 as a woman, which is the easiest thing to succeed as in the dating market, look, you're a dog shit romantic option. So either the alpha male is gonna leave you, or you're gonna find a way to fuck it up, or leave him, or say he was abusive. Something you're gonna fuck it up somehow. And then the guy who would stay with your masculine, aggressive ass, you're not gonna respect him, and you're gonna leave him. So you're in the AD loop of misery.
They get stuck in this endless trap of all the men I want don't want me and or are already married, or the men who want me, I don't want them. So they end up like stuck in the middle.
I mean, yeah, that's why it was so important for yeah. That's why it was so important for Kevin Samuels to be harsh and just say, okay, well, die alone. If you don't want to be with what men want, then die alone. Those are your options. Those are options. I mean, you could sit on the internet and cry about it for the next 50 years, but it's not a flex to lose on a dating market. It's just not. Oh, I mean, you see the little smug, condescending way. She's like, "Look, I'm not the type to get behind a man. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm gonna give my opinion." Hey, you have the option to be single for life. Nobody's gonna stop you from being single and dying alone. Nobody. You ain't hurting our feelings by being single and dying alone. So let me talk about this real quick. So in her mind, she's a high value woman, but no, you're a high value man in a woman's body. Shout out to AD. You're a high. He said this first. You're a high value man in a woman's body, and that's not compatible with a high value man in a man's body. What makes a woman high value is feminine, nurturing, caring, submissive. Y'all know the shit. And she's none of that. So she's a low value woman who's a high earner. She's a high earning, low value woman. Let's coin that term. She's a HELVM. Or no, she's a HELVW. Right? That don't roll off the tongue. Hold on. She's a HELV. That kind of roll off a HELV, a high earning, low value. So okay, let's tie this into the title of the stream. Do most women deserve respect? So does this woman deserve respect? I'm sure she got multiple degrees, earning six figures. Does she deserve respect? Because I mean, she seems like a fucking bitch. So I would say bitches don't deserve respect, just like high earning asshole men don't deserve respect to me. Because the metric I go by is like, what kind of human are you? I don't care how hard you work, how much money you made, how many people you employ. I mean, if you're kind of a shitty person, then you low value to me. That's just how the metrics I go by. Yeah, women who make stupid TikToks like this don't deserve respect. Kind of narcissistic. I'm using y'all word against you. Just like women would say the narcissistic men don't deserve respect, narcissistic women who can't stay their goofy ass off of TikTok don't deserve respect.
That, right? And some of them, they just want you to like shut up and be quiet and just be behind them, and that's not me. But also like others of them, they're just.
Let me say this too. Let me say this too. Or did I forget what I was about to say? What did she just say? Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. I'll probably remember it. Let's go back.
But also like others of them, they're just jealous, and obviously it's not like they're saying to you, oh, I'm jealous, but you can see that they're jealous because they'll make like snide comments.
Man, listen.
The reason most of these women ain't married is because most of these women have been fucked by so many men, man, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to marry these women out here like that, man. I'm telling you, that's why most of these motherfucking women ain't got no husband. Because too many of these women have been fucked by too many of these men, man.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's talk about the other side. Most women ain't checking for him, so they don't give a fuck about what he talking about. Far as that's why y'all ain't married. I mean, their comeback be like, sir, we wasn't trying to marry you regardless. That would be their comeback. But he ain't lying. He definitely ain't lying. Oh, let me touch on this. This isn't what I was gonna say, but I just thought of this. She's probably 30. I would say she's like 30. You weren't a highfalutin six-figure earner with multiple degrees when you were 20, 21, 22, 23. You've been failing on the dating market since high school. So this whole dating as a six-figure earner, no, nice try. You've been dating since you was 15, long before you was a high earner and had multiple degrees and was a boss babe. Why ain't none of those relationships work out? See, they don't want us to think that deep into it. You were a bullshit woman and a bad dating option long before you became a boss babe.
been fucked by too many of these men, man. And no man don't want to make these goddamn women they motherfucking wife. And I don't blame them.
In a nutshell. So you can sit here and say you some high earner boss chick and these men are dusty, blah, blah, blah.
Fellas, understand something. Please, men are not a monolith, women are not a monolith. Like, please understand that some women are simply not wives. It don't matter how accomplished they are, don't matter how they appear. They are simply not wives, and that's okay. A sister like this talking about, oh, she opinionated. Ain't no dude worried about your opinion. It's when y'all get disrespectful. Say that. Say you disrespectfully opinionated. That's the part right there. Because fellas, just how there's women like this, there are wonderful, wholesome, beautiful women that look forward to getting under some instruction and getting and being under the protection of a man because they daddy and mama raised them right. Sister like this, if you ask me, they mom and dad ain't raised them right. She look like she got a mom and a daddy, but it sounds like this the type of woman her mom and daddy hated one another. You see?
Okay. He said something about there's a bunch of women who want to get under a man's instruction and be wholesome and this and that. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure they exist. But see, both of these brothers are married and they don't talk about, I mean, they talk about the fact that they're married, but they don't go into the details of their relationship. And hey, they shouldn't. But they're not going to give it to you uncut and raw the way I will. About the realities of a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-year marriage. I think these brothers been married a pretty good amount of time. I would love to ask them like, well, this is probably a little too intrusive. Like, so y'all wives are completely submissive? They don't talk back too much? I mean, look, I'll give a bitch a pass to be a little, how can I put it, problematic 10 to 20% of the time. That's just their nature, period. But I'll give a pass on that when they on their period or when they just having a bad day. I'll give them a pass 10 to 20% time. But I would love to find out from these brothers, are y'all wives submissive and sweet and wholesome and all that nurturing about 80% of the time at least? I'd love to know.
See what I'm saying? There's levels to this, and we ain't listening.
Or the be or like little things along those lines, or some of them I wouldn't attribute this one to jealousy, but just more so like they want to be kept. They'll say like, you're the one with all the money, you know? And sometimes jokingly we're just like, okay, but that's not a funny joke if I don't know you. So
Listen. Look, I know, I'll just say I'm thinking of a couple that I know. And she's a high earner and the man is not. Um and she pays like the overwhelming majority of the bills. And they've been together for a long time. But see, and she's a high earner. She degrees and all this money. But here's the difference. She actually maintained her femininity and she didn't get ran through in the streets. You know what I mean? I think he was her first or second boyfriend or whatever, and now they married, kids and all. Yeah, she didn't get run through, and she maintained her femininity while becoming accomplished. That's a thing too. This woman has lost it. She's lost her femininity and probably been ran through. I'm not gonna say I don't know if she's been ran through. It's all speculation here. But I wouldn't be shocked if she has been with more than 3 men. And y'all know what I say. If your body count is higher than 3, you for the streets. I mean, look, a lot of people don't agree with that. Maybe I should word it a different way. Because it could have been 3 serious long-term relationships. So a lot of men wouldn't consider that for the streets. But I just would word it like your pair bonding ability is arguably kind of shot. The way I put it is, after you've had sex with 3 men, there is no argument that you're for a man. You've been for men. You're not for a man. You've been for men. technically after one partner, you're 4 men. You've been for men. You're not a one-man woman. Multiple men have had you. Usually out of wedlock. That's really when it's bad. But anyway, if a woman can maintain her femininity and keep her fucking legs closed, her being accomplished won't affect her dating life. Cause she's gonna find that mate before she even graduate, boss. I know that was corny, but I had to do it. Yeah, she gonna find that mate before she graduate. If she a good woman, raised right, maintained her femininity, didn't get ran through in high school, the easiest thing in the world for most women to do is just find. Let's word it like this: she's an above. I would give her above average attractiveness for a black woman. The easiest thing for a moderately attractive woman to attract and maintain is s- above average man, even an above average man. I don't even got to say average. This woman could easily attract a 6 guy and maintain a relationship, and that's above average. A 5 is average. She had plenty of access to a bunch of 6 and 7s in high school and college and after college, and still to this day. The easiest thing for a woman like this to do is attract and maintain a 6 or 7. Suck dick and don't be too much of a bitch, and he's down for life. So if you can't do that right, suck dick and just not be a bitch, yeah, just stay away from men at that point. If you couldn't figure out how to suck dick and not be a bitch to a man in over 15 years of being on the date market, just leave it alone. Just fucking hang it up at this point.
But that's not a funny joke if I don't know you. So I will say, like, for those reasons, it is a lot harder. But also another reason it's harder in general, I think, is because once you are making above a certain amount, you usually have a certain kind of lifestyle. And if you want to maintain that lifestyle, but also include your significant other in that lifestyle, they do have to be making within that range, right?
Not really. Not really. I mean, she's gonna say, spoiler alert, she's gonna say that she makes like upwards of $200,000. So, yeah, you got the paper, big money. Why don't you just pay for everything? If you make $250,000 a year, you could easily afford a certain lifestyle for you and him. You could technically afford to retire you and him. What's the point of making all this money if you don't want to contribute it to a family? That's what pisses me off about women getting all this money. They're fucking selfish, man. Women go out in the world and become $300,000 earners just to not want to put it towards the family. That shit don't even logically make sense. Like, if you just wanted to go on trips and live in a halfway decent house, you probably could have made 60 and 70 for that. Why go out in the world to make 300, 400, 500 to not share it with other humans? Well, not other humans, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it just shows what women value, man. Like, I don't know. When men get money, they value family. They use it to take care of the family. When women get money, they use it to avoid having a family, technically, or sabotage themselves out of having a family. Oh my god, or trick themselves into thinking that they shouldn't get a family. Oh gosh, this is fringe. See, okay, it just goes to show. This is what it goes to show that women don't really value men as human beings. They see them as tools, status symbols, this and that, means to an end to get what they want out of life. But they don't really like men as humans and value men as human beings. Because if this woman right here, because I always use this example, there's women out there selling their pussy and risking their lives every night just to come back to the pimp and give him all the money because she value his manhood. So she's willing to die to go get that nigga bag up. What does that say? That says she values him. Most women don't value the men they're with, their husband or boyfriends. Because if they really valued their man, I've said this before. If a woman really love you, she'll pay all the bills. That most women don't love the men they're with, truly. When a woman loves you, she'll do damn near anything to be with you. It's sad to say, probably 90% of women that are with men around the world don't really love that man. That's dark, but it's true. That's the barometer for me. If, cause see, they would try to play all type of mental gymnastic games. They would, but let's do this though. Let's do a little thought experiment. Even though I'm losing all my people, can y'all hear me? Am I good? Nobody has tapped in a live chat, so I'm assuming we have no regulars listening to me right now, unless somebody nigga watching. If one of my regulars nigga watching, can you just tap in just to say hi, just to just say what's up real quick? Let me know I ain't talking to myself. Um, Everybody hit the like button too. Please take your fat ass finger and hit the like button. Let's do a little thought experiment. Do a little thought experiment. Let's be real. Most women obviously don't make enough to be able to fully take care of their husband or boyfriend and kids or whatever. But let's just say 50,000 a year with a kid. Let's start it off like this. The man, oh, hold up. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Gino. Appreciate you for tapping in. So okay, I'm gonna give y'all an example. Let's say most households, and this is actually probably somewhat true. Let's say most households have the mother and the father working. Let's just say the mother and father are both making $50,000 a year, right? So let's say in all the households where the mom and dad are going 50-50, they both make $50,000 a year. If all of those women tomorrow said, you know what, hubby? I ain't going back to work. I don't care what you say. I'm done working. I don't care. I'm never working another job. I mean, I might do a side hustle here and there, but I'm never working another traditional job again in my life. And let's take kids off the table. Let's take kids off the table. And then the wives come home and say, we ain't working no more. What percentage of those husbands are gonna say, well, I'm filing for divorce then? If you never gonna work again, I'm filing for divorce. Because if you ain't working again, I don't want to be with you, wife. A very small percentage of men would say that. Even if they really needed the other half of the money. I would say the majority of men would say, okay, well, I guess we got to downsize, honey. I love you. I don't want to lose you. I truly believe at least 70% of the men would say that. Okay, damn, babe, we got to completely cut our lifestyle in half, but I'm not losing my baby. 70% of men would say that. Now let's flip it. Let's flip it. Now, if all the husbands that go 50-50 with their wives making 50K came home tomorrow and was like, you know what, babe? I ain't never working another day in my fucking life. I mean, maybe a side hustle here and there, a couple thousand a year on my side hustle, but I ain't never going to a 9-to-5 job or making significant money for the rest of my life. The most I'm contributing financially to the household for the rest of our lives, maybe 1,000 or 2 a year. What percentage of women would say, well, I guess we just got to downgrade, baby, but I don't want to lose my husband. I love you too much. Maybe 5 or 10%. Yeah, because they don't value you and don't love you. The only those 5 or 10% women actually love their husband or boyfriend. Period. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. They say the number one reason for divorces, or I think it's finances, if I'm not mistaken. But that's just because women don't love men. Because nobody's letting the love of their life go over finances. Period. Or I'm not even gonna say love of their life. Nobody's letting somebody that they truly love to the core go and cut ties with them forever over finances. Would you cut ties with your grandmother for life over finances? Would you cut ties with your mama for life over finances? If you got a good relationship with your father, would you cut ties for life with your father over finances? Or if he lost his job, or he was living with you but he lost his job, and of course not. It's fucking absurd.
In that lifestyle, they do have to be making within that range, right? I'm not saying that I will only date someone who makes more than me. That's absolutely not the case, but you do need to be probably making, like low to mid six figures, somewhere like 200 or higher. In order for us to have the lifestyle that I envision myself living.
It's all about her, though. It's all about what she envisioned living. What about loving somebody and compromising or downgrading because you love them so, or not downgrading? I mean, if you make 200 and he make 50, that's a pretty damn decent lifestyle. Maybe everything ain't about you. Maybe the world don't revolve around you. Have you ever pondered that? Ever thought of that? Of course not.
In order for us to have the lifestyle that I envision myself living. And mind you, I'm still working towards the lifestyle that I want to be living. But if I like to take vacations and I like to buy, diversify my investments and do all these different kinds of things, you need to be able to do that too.
That don't even make sense.
You got to pay to play.
That don't even make sense. Rest in peace to the Godfather. So if you sitting here, you some boss chick making 200K, why can't you date a man making 50, 60K? That's additional. She said, no, you got to make more than her. Her hypergamous nature. She will not be able to sleep at night. So you got to make $250,000. Her 200,000. Y'all making almost 500,000. And now y'all can, not struggle. It's just cap.
My goodness. Just stop. Sisters like this, y'all don't, as intelligent as they are, intelligent, educated, accomplished, y'all.
Slow down there, Mr. Walker. I wouldn't say intelligent. Educated, maybe. Accomplished, maybe. Damn sure wouldn't say intelligent.
Don't know the rules to the game. It would seem, by observable outcomes, that you have to get in the room with these guys. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. You're not gonna wake up one day and just pick one of these extremely high value men off of a tree. It's like winning the daggone lottery. You gotta look up. This is why we acknowledge that men of that caliber are the prize. You got to find your way in the room with them for to even get their attention. But what you ain't gonna do is come up here like this and put out this war cry, and he gonna be like, there she is. Absolutely not. Guys like that are called they're the most eligible bachelors. They're accomplished, they're ready to go. When a woman like you are not an eligible bachelorette. That guy can live years and years knocking down different women every week.
He's just not going to be attracted to her demeanor or attitude or personality. I just don't think that man would make it like past a conversation with her. Guys like that. I mean, there's probably nerdy, dorky dudes who make 300K or something that would fuck with her, but she ain't gonna want them. I'm sure she want a tall, handsome, suave motherfucker who make 250, 300K. Who gonna accept all her bullshit and let her stay on TikTok talking about their personal lives? That shit ain't fucking happening. Cause you know look, you know these B dubs have a crazy sex appetite, and they done been fucked and sucked 6 ways from Sunday for years. So you know you gotta fuck her right. That's a deal breaker. You gotta fuck the leather off her couch for her to even take the relationship serious. So yeah, so she looking for Mr. 0.01, and he's not coming.
Years and years knocking down different women every week. You can't do that without it being extremely detrimental. So quiet down.
Right? Like, I'm not here just funding your lifestyle. We need to be able to do this together. And so naturally, you have to have some sort of, cushion on your own before you come into my sphere, or before we can even really get along or be in the same like tax bracket.
You hear that? You hear that? We're not even gonna be able to get along unless you're in my same tax bracket. Think about how sickening that is. She's really lost the plot. Getting along with somebody and money. I mean, I get what she's saying, but no, money shouldn't have nothing to do with getting along with another human. That is disgusting. It's a very gross thing to say. She's almost lost her humanity.
We can even really get along or be in the same like tax bracket. But again, I wouldn't say like he has to make more than me, but he does need to make close to it, or somewhere that would allow him to still be in that same area or same arena of what it is, of what my lifestyle is like and what I'm hoping it to be, right? Because the goal for me is at least to build generational wealth, and you can do that from a full-time job. I work full-time, but I also have significant side hustles, and yeah, it takes a lot of time, but to me it's worth it, right? Because I'm young, I have the time, I have the energy, and then later on in life, I'm just going to be able to like chill and just live off of what the hard work that I've been putting in now.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a guy. She sounds like a guy. Yeah, I got these investments. I'm gonna retire my parents. I'm gonna work real hard so I can just lay up in the sun. And it sounds like a dude. That sounds exactly like a dude.
What the hard work that I've been putting in now. You had replied to this and also asked about like splitting expenses and different things like that. I don't believe in, like merging money or anything like that unless I am married, which I am not. And so I wasn't doing any of that. In terms of like dating, I still do think a man, especially for the first few dates, needs to be paying for the dates. Like, they need to be doing the courting, the courtship, all of that. To kind of sum up, because this is long, dating is a lot more difficult. Oh, you had also commented about like where to meet them. I also made a video on this that some people didn't like, but in my experience, there's multiple ways to meet men who are high earners or whatever it is.
Baby, get in line, baby. Get in fucking line. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. They still have the mentality that like some millionaire or high earner is gonna court them. No, you gotta compete for him, baby. He's not jumping through hoops to impress you. You're not in high demand. I mean, I guess I mean you're slightly above average looking, but even if you are in high demand, it's to use your body. Let's just be frank. He's in high demand to have a marriage happen. They're never in the competition mindset when it comes to these high value men. They feel entitled to him. She feel entitled to a high value man because she got a degree and a good job, and they don't work that way. You're definitely not competing because you act like a guy, and you talk like a guy, you have a mindset like a guy. Make TikToks about your personal life. That is not competing for a high earning man whatsoever. You would have to get on his program. Well, first you would have to compete for him. And if you won the competition, you would have to get on his program. And he don't give a fuck about what your opinion. Well, you know what? That's not true. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Howard. Yeah, Howard, I would say most don't deserve respect, to be frank. And I mean, really, most men don't deserve respect, in my opinion. But they deserve more respect than women. I wish it wasn't true. I'm not saying it because I'm a misogynist. I'm just saying it because I think it's true. I don't want it to be true. I wish women were respectable, but they're not, unfortunately, for us, and everybody got to deal with them.
Men who are high earners or whatever it is you want to call them. And one of the easiest and best ways is to change your environment, right? If you're only hanging around other high earners or only hanging around other professionals or entrepreneurs or people who are like-minded, that is going to become your circle of influence. That is going to become your norm. And so naturally you are going to meet those kinds of people. Like, for example, I was just at a conference and it was all attorneys. It was all big law attorneys. It was all in-house counsel, right? And I was just there and they're just around me, right? So that's an example.
That's a bad sign. Yeah, that's a bad sign. You're around those guys all the time and none of them snatch you up. They continue to not snatch you up. But we know why. But what does that tell you, though? You don't think none of those guys know a guy that know a guy or something who's single? They're not recommending you. Black women they don't get it. They don't fucking get it. Black women are the least desirable women on the dating market. And then you're gonna become this like ball breaking, masculine minded woman to boot on top of already being the least picked on the dating market. You're fucked. You can't see past your huge ego to do what it will take to actually win, which is learn how to be a feminine woman. Take a femininity class or something. Shit. Listen to some red pill channels like mine. Go fucking brush up on your Kevin Samuels. But her ego too fucking thick to do the work to get her outcome that she want.
And I was just there and they're just around me, right? So that's an example. The weekend before I was at the Black.
Example of what? You get hunched on by attorneys that you desire. You can say, oh, I like this guy. And y'all can hook up and you can say, look what I did. But where's the real results? Longevity, a ring, the family. You just talking.
That's it. Just babbling on. I want to see you get desired outcome. Y'all know what I say. My heart goes out to the boss chick. You done all this work, done bettered yourself. Now look at the sister. Look like her credit score perfect. She keep her little bins clean, all that. But you, the software, like the man that you desire with the perfect credit score as well, and being and making dang near $250,000 a year, he don't want to deal with your masculine attitude, your masculine stance. She has a feminine appearance, but y'all sister saying in the chat, her voice, her tone is masculine. That's unfortunate.
Well, summit, like same thing, right? So being very intentional about the spears that you're putting out and putting around yourself, your environment, who you're hanging around, who you're talking to. Go to conferences, go to events, like do those different types of things where you're going to be in the space to meet those kinds of people. And if you're living somewhere that doesn't allow you to be in that kind of space, then you got to figure out a way to get up and get out and go put yourself in that kind of space, or make some friends genuinely, because nobody wants like the fake stuff, to be able to cultivate that kind of experience for yourself.
Wouldn't it be fake? Like, like, well, a lot of women are just fake. This whole world is fake, frankly. Yeah, women like this lost the plot. Like, women back in the day used to go to college to get married, to find a high earning man or a man who's on his purpose and marry him. But black women go to college to become bosses and forget about a man. I'll get a man later. No, that was what you should have been going to college for. I mean, you can get the education too, but you should have been heavily focused on finding your husband.
And that's what I found most helpful.
Well, two things is true. Like I said, they need to start leading into these videos like Taylor the Tates. We need to know how old you are, stuff like that. Do you got kids? Who are you? Because if you some 35-year-old woman and whatever, a baby mama or something, we ain't trying to hear it. You talking about lawyers and $250,000. But if you may be like 25 years old, just getting out of law school yourself, don't know. Good luck.
There you go. Shout out to Miss X. That would be awesome. Why don't y'all do that? Huh? Y'all know y'all be ghost watching, hate watching. Take that and start to make that a trend. Tell it to tape. So before y'all do y'all videos, have that little typewriter noise. Age, name, whatever. Screen. You ain't got to do your whole name. Screen name, date of birth, how many kids. There you go. Occupation. Now talk. Because now we know who's on the screen. But y'all come up here. We don't look. We can't tell nothing. The background ain't giving us nothing. We don't know. She could be in a fancy storage unit for all we know. Get that tail of the tape. That'd be a dope trend. That would also make y'all go viral. Do it.
So until then, you in Glaze Galaxy.
EV, you're welcome.
We got us the gun line.
Tell them about the gun line, boss.
We may not know which way to go.
Oh Lord, see, this shit is gonna be dangerous. Some dark wing.
Till night. None of my regulars pop in. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Remember, how others treat you as their karma, how you treat others is your karma. Be nice to people because God's watching. And remember, I'm a nice guy. I just play an asshole on the internet, and I've never done anything remotely wrong my entire life ever. Keep your blood sugar and your blood pressure down to keep the Reaper from coming around. Make sure you get your yearly checkup so Satan don't catch up. RB Sensei out.